Hello everybody, this is Mr. Storm. Today we're going to talk about Java exceptions. Exceptions in a programming language are essentially little error messages that we can create on our own in case something happens specifically. For example, if we try to access part of an array that doesn't work, we can try to do something, and if it doesn't work, then we can throw up a different error and still continue to run the program. And then there's other ways we can create custom messages as well. So let's look at a couple of examples, and then I'll walk you through completing the assignment for today. Now, this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with object-oriented programming. It's just something that it's an important thing that we need to understand that I just haven't had time to teach you until, well, now. So let's get into it. So exceptions start with the try block. Try is going to basically attempt to do whatever we put in there. So if we create an integer array and we'll call it nums, and we'll set it to, I don't know, just a couple of pieces of data. Doesn't really matter what it is. System.out.print, and we can say nums. Now, in this array, we only have 3 indexes. So if I were to ask it to produce, I don't know, 10, the index 10, that doesn't exist, right? So we know that this is going to fail. So what I can do is whenever I catch that exception, I can give it an exception. Exception, we'll call it E. And what it's going to say is system.out.print line. We'll say something went wrong. So all that's doing is it's going to try to do this. It's going to try to access this array or this index in the array, but it's not going to work. Normally it would throw an error, but we're going to overwrite the error. And actually let me comment out this line here. Let's comment out all of these lines. And let's just try doing these two things together and see what the error is. All right, so now we have an issue, right? Exception in thread main java.lang.array and index out of bounds exception, index 10 out of bounds for length 3. So it threw an error and my program stopped running. Instead, we can do this. We can use that try catch. So we try to do this. If it doesn't work, then we print a message, something went wrong, and then we can continue running the program if we want to. So there we go. It just says something went wrong, and we can continue executing the program. That is a try catch. So try and catch. They work together. And we'll just put a space there so it's a bit easier to read. So that's a try catch. We can also use a finally keyword. Down here we can say finally, and then, finally, and we can say system.out.print line. We are done checking. And the finally keyword, all that's going to do is no matter what happens, it's going to output the message. It's pretty easy. Now, another thing that we can use is with exceptions, we can use a statement called throw. What throw will do is it'll actually give us more information on our error so that we understand exactly what's going on. So let's say, for example, let's get rid of all of this stuff here. Let's create a new method, static void, and we'll call it check age. We'll bring in an integer called age. And inside here, we'll say if age is less than 18, then we're going to use this throw. Throw new arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception meaning it's a math exception, right? So there's something wrong with our math here. Access denied. You must be at least 18 years old. Okay. So if that happens, then, we'll throw that error along with the actual error it's going to give us. Else, system out, print, access granted. You are old enough. All right. So we now have this method called checkAge where we can throw some stuff at it. We can try some possible scenarios. So if I were to go into my main method and call the checkAge method and I throw it, say, 15, for example, when I run that program, it is going to take a while to run. All right, so notice that we have some more information here that we didn't have before. So it says exception in thread main java.lang arithmetic exception, access denied, you must be at least 18 years old. So that's giving me more information about the error, right? So you can use this throw anytime you think there might be a breakdown. You can throw use that throw in there. Now notice, if I didn't use the throw, I could have just put a system out print line saying, hey, you have to be at least 18 years old, and the program works perfectly. There wouldn't be an issue. But because I'm throwing a new exception into here, it actually stops my program from running, because at that point I don't want it to keep going, right? So we can add new error cases, new possible errors into our program. If I were to change this, however, to say 20 and run it, hello, there we go. Access granted, you are old enough. So the program's still running, everything's still good, right? So all I want you to do is take this concept and expand on it. We're going to use both the throw and the try catch. So this method, by the checkAge method, we can leave that alone. That's done now. We're going to add some code into this main method. Basically, we're going to give the user the ability to attempt to put in their age, but if they type anything other than an integer, then we're going to use that try catch to say, hey, you actually have to enter a number. So because we're going to take in user input, let's import our java.util.scanner. Alrighty. And in here, first thing, let's instantiate our scanner class, create an instance of the scanner object. I can actually use the real terms now that you guys know what that means. System.in. All right, and let's set our age to be 0 at first, because we need to give it some data. If we assign the value of age in the try catch, which we're going to do, when we try to call age later, it's going to get mad at us, basically saying that you're trying to access a variable that may not have some data inside, because you may not have been successful in adding that data. So anyway, system out, print, enter your age. All right, this is where we're going to grab our try catch. So try, and we'll say age equals reader.nextInt, meaning I want to grab the next integer in this sequence. Now, if we type something other than an int, then it's going to be caught. So catch, and we'll give it the exception E, and we'll say system, system.out.print line, please enter a number. Okay, so now that we have our try catch right here, this is going to attempt to try to add some value, add some data into the age variable. Let's go ahead and call our checkAge method, and we'll pass in age as a variable. And let's close our reader. Okay, and let's run it. See what happens. All right, so it's going to ask me to enter my age. All right, perfect. My age is pineapples. Please enter a number. So I tried to end it. It caught it and said, hey, please enter a number. And then whenever I called the check age method, age is still 0. And so it threw an access denied because I'm not at least 18 years old. So both of our things worked as intended. Let's run it again and throw another scenario at it. Hello. There we go. So I'm going to put in 12 for my age. So now notice that it didn't run please enter your number. It skipped that because we got through the try. But when we ran the method, this throw was still caught, right? It still threw up the throw because my age was less than 18. So let's give it a real answer, a good answer, and see if we can get through this area. All right, my age is 37. Access granted. I am old enough. So those are a couple of pretty simple strategies that you can use to make sure that you get the thing that you want, that you get the input that you want, and to throw up exceptions if something doesn't work out, right? So create this program. Create an age checker program. And go ahead and submit it. Again, we didn't use any extra classes or anything. This was something that I wanted to teach in Programming 1, but we just kind of ran out of time. So, but we're going to need this for the next project we do. So it's important that we know how this works. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time. Oh, I did not mean to open up that or that. Hold on a second. And